Well, it's not lost on us that it's Thanksgiving week, so I'm going to give you some real practical help for Thanksgiving week right now. It's going to be good for you. It'll be good reminders for me too. And this message, by the way, was built long before all of the news of this week. So just know that God's been on the move for a while with some of this. We're in a series right now called What Wise People Know and Do. Jesus, when he uses the word wise, he means really truly successful. But if you want to be truly successful, then you'll be wise. Scriptures teach us a couple of things. Number one, that wisdom begins with the fear of the Lord, meaning that we have a high reverence for God, that we know that he's God of everything and that we're not, and that he's in charge of everything. He's sovereign and we're not. So wisdom begins with the fear of the Lord. The second thing is wisdom begins when we do this. Psalm 90:12 teaches us this. So then, teach us to number our days, that we may get a heart of wisdom. See, when we number our days, we know that there's a span of life that we can't control, nor can we predict. Then we begin to be wise, because it disciplines us for the moments that we have. And today I want to talk to you about moments. I want to talk to you about the power of the precious present, about the power of the moments you have, especially timely in the week of Thanksgiving, which we'll come to in just a minute. So, teach us to number our days so that we may get a heart of wisdom. I want you to be wise. I want to be wise so that we live life right, so that we get all that God intends to give to us out of life by being wise. We can be unwise and we can be foolish, and God will let us. But foolishness costs us a whole lot. Wisdom brings real life to us, a real, true, meaningful, successful life. And that's what I want for you. As your pastor, man, I want you to have an abundant, meaningful, powerful, wisdom-filled life so that you can live at a higher level than you've ever imagined before. That's what we're going for here. Make sense? That's what my hope is. That's why I'm going to share some ideas with you today. But to get there, I have a question for you to get us started. All right? When you're traveling 68 miles per hour in a small Nissan car down the interstate, and you ram into the back end of a semi-tractor trailer going 2 miles per hour, how long does it take for your life to change? Got any engineers in here? We'll figure that out for us. How long does it take your life to change? 68 to 2. Not very long, does it? This is what it looks like when you go from 68 to 2 in a small Nissan hitting the back end of a semi. It looks like that. It also looks like this. When your life changes that much, that fast, when you go from 68 to 2 or 0, you wind up looking like this. Right there. Monica is an absolute miracle. That she survived that crash is a miracle. Crazy. Grateful to God that she made it through. Grateful to God that little Nissan car with all the airbags deployed, that it worked just like it was supposed to. Saved her life. So, I don't know. I'm going to go against Dave Ramsey just a little bit here for just a moment. Dave Ramsey will tell you buy a clunker. I'm going to tell you buy a car with good airbags. Okay? Get the best car you can afford that has decent stuff in it, because your life might matter. And I think Monica would attest to that. So, Monica, would you come on up here? Help us with this message. You guys can give it up for Monica. You're used to being able to do whatever you want to do, aren't you? And so let me grab is this stool okay? Do you want to, let me get a tall one for you. Hold on. I'm not sure where our other one went. Yes, we were punked. I don't know how we got that way, but we were. So, Monica, answer the question for 68 to 2. How fast does your life change?
Immediately.
Like right then?
Like right then.
Wow. So take us back into as much as you remember. What happened?
Okay. Well, the actual accident, I don't remember anything. I don't even remember anything from that day. But when I did come to, I was in the car after the accident happened. I was looking at the back end of that semi. Of course, I was stopped, at that point, and the first responders were there. I could hear them talking, and I was only conscious for a matter of seconds, really. But I knew something was wrong. But that's where the first blessing, miracle came. God I didn't feel any pain, shock, I'm sure, but no pain, and I wasn't panicked, when I had come to, and then I was probably out for another full day before things started to become clear, like what had happened, and family was around, and I knew something was going on.
Wow, and you really woke up kind of in the hospital. Right?
I did.
Yeah. When was that? What day was that?
That was September 7th.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're a miracle.
Yeah. For sure.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your journey with God in all of this. What have you been learning? What's God been teaching you in this time?
Well, it was definitely a wake-up call. Just you're living your life, and all of a sudden, unbeknownst to you, just everything comes to a screeching halt, literally. I was at U of L for a week, and I was literally just confined to a bed. Both of my legs were broken in multiple places. I had broken ribs, a collapsed lung, broken bones in my hand, broken bones in my foot, and I had a couple of bleeds on my brain. So it was very serious. But through that week, when I was just in the bed and just confined, all I did was talk to God. That's all I could do, and it gave me such comfort. I always felt him there, without question. I always felt him there.
And you didn't have to ask him to be there. He was just
No, he was there. He was literally there. Like, I'm claustrophobic anyway, and being in the bed, that would have just I can't even hardly sit through a dental cleaning, literally. I get anxious, and I just can't, I feel stuck. And when I think back to that week, especially where I was just in the bed and I couldn't move, I don't know how I didn't go out of my mind. But God, it was God, for sure. Anytime I would, all day, I would just talk with him, and he just comforted me. And I had family and friends around me too that were very helpful and loving. And times when I did struggle a little bit, he was right there through it.
So Jesus was right that the Father loves us.
Yes.
And that he meets us where we are.
Yeah.
And that he's going to walk with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he did that for you.
He did 100% without question. It's, sometimes you don't realize until you've hit the back of a semi, just how much God does love us. Mm. And just personally too, with, for myself, just how much he loves me.
And you were perfect before that. That's why he loved you, because you were all perfect, right?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Yeah. So even when we're not perfect, even when God still loves us.
We're all works in progress. Yeah. There's always room for improvement.
So he met you in that space, in that moment, from 68 to 2, and he was there.
He was there loving me, and it's been hard, of course. It's everything that was my normal has been completely changed.
Yeah.
And I've had to adapt, whether I liked it or not. But it's been good. I won't sit here and complain about it.
Tell me, that's weird. Tell me about that. How's it good?
Well, even though, there's a lot of things I can't do, a lot of things that I was doing before that has been put on hold, like working out, and exercising, but that played a huge role in my survival of the accident, which is a great blessing. But just, you can either sit and feel depressed, and I understand how that can creep up on you. I'm not knocking anybody that does struggle with that, but I could either sit and just be sad and feel sorry for myself and just be negative, or I can not do that and choose to be grateful and think of the blessings, and there's been many.
thinking about blessings and being thankful. This week's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And we all have a choice about being thankful and grateful or not. But let me just talk to y'all for a minute. Some of y'all have had really hard years. You're in a really hard season of your life. You've lost people you love. Your job's been changed. You might not have a job right now. There's a lot of things that go on in your life, and it can feel really dark. Your health might have a lot of health challenges right now. There's things that can cause you to feel very down and out, maybe even like God has forgotten you. And so what I'm asking you to do right now isn't easy, and it's not even natural, but to turn to having Thanksgiving and to being thankful in the middle of all that. Talk to us about that. How do you do that in the middle of the storm like you've been in?
Just having approaching God with a grateful heart, and I mean, I know He understands when things are really difficult and you just want to cry, and you do want to be, like, why me? And that's understandable. But just from my experience, being in His presence, it did turn my attitude around. I think it will. I think it would for anybody when you're in His presence, even when you approach Him broken and sad and just feeling like things just can't get any worse. He'll turn it around. It just happens.
So this week's Thanksgiving. Talk to us about this Thanksgiving versus last Thanksgiving. What have you learned that will change Thanksgiving for you this year?
Oh, well, just being incredibly grateful that I'm alive and that I get to see my family. And, we always go to South Carolina usually for Thanksgiving, and I see my mom and family there, and I'm just grateful that I get to. So, when you get into the habit of just every day, you kind of take things for granted. But when something like this happens, it does make you stop and just be grateful for the little things even things that annoy you. And
yeah. So to be grateful for those moments that we hope you're going to have with your family this week.
I could have lost that. Last year could have been my last one.
It could have been it. But now perhaps you're going to get this chance.
Yes.
This week, however you do Thanksgiving with your family, to be with some people, some whom you love dearly, some who aggravate you.
Yeah.
Some who you've got to do a little forgiving, and they may have to do a little forgiving on their end.
Yes.
But you got a moment.
Yes.
You've got
and
some
I'm
moments
very grateful.
coming up, and you're learning how to zoom into those moments.
Yeah, because like you said, it's not a dress rehearsal. Yeah, it's like we have this one life, and when things rock the boat, it does make you stop and be really grateful for what you have, and that you have some more time too.
Thanks for sharing this moment with us and helping us think about life.
Of course.
And what it really means, how precious it is. I'm grateful for you. Thank you, Monica. Thank you. So really all we get in life, all we can really hope for, count on, are some moments. Some moments. It's called the precious present. If I could give you the greatest gift of all time, it would not be a microwave. It would not be a television. It would not be an iPhone, even 14. The most precious gift I would pray for you is the present, this moment, this time. When you have a moment to call somebody you love, you have a moment to squeeze the hand of someone who's near you. You have a moment, because I promise you, for those who've lost people where there are no more moments to be had, they would give anything for just one precious moment of the present. That's what they would give almost everything for, maybe everything. Because what we wind up with, what we need most, is what seems so ordinary, as Monica said. What we need most are a few more moments with people that we love. A few more moments to hug that child. A few more moments to whisper into your spouse's ear that you love them. a few more moments when you live all the way into the precious present. You don't look past the precious present. You don't take it for granted, but you milk it for all that it's worth. You pour yourself into that moment. You live right there. I want to give you a few ideas on how to live in the precious present, how to do that really well, how to do what I call momenting. That is to live right smack dab in the middle of the moment you've been given. Here's some ideas that will help you. Okay? Number one, to enjoy the precious present and to do this momenting thing well. You'll zoom out to get the big picture on your life. You'll remember what true success is. You see, at the end of the game, no matter how many toys you have, no matter how nice they are and how much you paid for them, they all go back in the box. You don't get to take anything with you. So what matters most? It's to zoom out and to remember what true success is. Scripture reminds us that, what good does it do to gain the whole world but to lose your soul? This week, perhaps you're going to be given the chance. Maybe you're going to be given the chance to live in the precious present, to have a few moments with people where you can really zoom out to the big picture of what success is, because when you zoom out, then you know how to zoom in to what matters most. So you zoom out to remember what matters most, and then when you're given a moment, you zoom right into that moment. So you zoom out, now you zoom in. And I'm going to give it to you this way, in honor of Thanksgiving. You lick the gravy right out of the bowl. And man, whatever gravy's in it, you lick it out. Or if you're down where I'm from, you take a biscuit and you sop it out. You treat those moments like they're a bowl full of your favorite gravy with that turkey. And man, you sop that up. You drink it up. You don't miss a moment. You zoom into the moment. You live in the moment. If you're not a sopper, I'm sorry. You should learn. Okay? Because it's an art. Man, Southeastern Kentucky, we know how to sop. And you might need to figure it out. But that's how you zoom into something, man. You get down in it. You sop it up. You slow down. You drink it in. Don't miss it. Don't let it get past you. You just got this precious present, this moment for just a fleeting time. Let me encourage you this week to practice unplugging. It's really sad. I see this happen a lot. A person is having a great conversation with someone they love and that loves them. And you know what happens so often in today's environment? When the moment gets to where it could be really meaningful and powerful in that moment, and you're really soaking up that moment, the phone buzzes, rattles, hums, dings, sings, whatever it does. And guess what happens? Instead of staying in the moment, what do? Oh, I got to look at that. You turn away from that moment. You miss the moment. And I'm going to promise you something, and I'm going to tell you, this is going to be harsh, but I love you, so I'm going to tell you the truth. You will have more regret for doing that than almost anything you've ever done. That you had a moment with someone you loved. You could have looked into their eyes. You could have heard them out. You could have stayed in that moment. But instead, you took a silly text from someone who you don't even know if you like, they even like you. And you're more involved with their text and what they just did to your phone than you are with the person in front of you. That is sad. And that, my friends, I believe is wrong. So maybe this Thanksgiving, you'll unplug a little more. Would it end the world if you left your cell phone in the car while you had dinner with people you love? Would the world just end? Or do you think it might still spin on its axis? I would encourage you, man, put them away. Young people, I know you think you'll die. You will not. For thousands of years before there were cell phones, people lived just fine without them. You'll be okay for an hour or two. You don't even have to play a game. You can just actually talk to somebody. Revolutionary concept. I know. But maybe for just a minute, maybe you could just talk to them. You don't have to text them. Just talk to them. Practice the ancient art of talking, of being in the same place with somebody and loving them. Sopping the gravy up out of the bowl, baby. Don't you miss this. And listen to them with your whole body, your whole mind, your whole soul. Be right in that moment because you've been given the precious present. And there is nothing more valuable than this moment. Irma Bombeck has great wisdom on this. In her book, Eat Less Cottage Cheese and Eat More Ice Cream, Thoughts on Life from Irma Bombeck. If I had my life to live over, this is what she says. Someone asked me the other day, if I had my life to live over, would I change anything? My answer was no. But then I thought about it and changed my mind. If I had my life to live over again, I would have waxed less and listened more. Instead of wishing away 9 months of pregnancy and complaining about the shadow over my feet, I'd have cherished every minute of it and realized that the wonderment growing inside me was to be my only chance in life to assist God in a miracle. I would have never insisted the car windows be rolled up on a summer day because my hair had just been teased and sprayed. I would have invited friends over to dinner even if the carpet was stained and the sofa was faded. I would have eaten popcorn in the good living room and worried less about the dirt when you lit the fireplace. I would have taken time to listen to my grandfather ramble about his youth. I would have burnt the pink candle that was sculptured like a rose before it melted in storage. I would have sat cross-legged on the lawn with my children and never worried about the grass stains. I would have cried and laughed less while watching television and more while watching real life. I would have shared more of the responsibility carried by my husband, which I took for granted. I would have eaten a lot less cottage cheese and a lot more ice cream. I would have gone to bed when I was sick instead of pretending the earth would go on into a holding pattern if I weren't there for a day. I would never have bought anything just because it was practical, wouldn't show soil, or guaranteed to last a lifetime. When my child kissed me impetuously, I would never have said, "Later, now go get washed up for dinner." There would have been more "I love yous," more "I'm sorries," more "I'm listenings," but mostly, given another shot at life, I would seize every moment of it. I would look at it and really see it and try it on and live it and exhaust it and never give that moment back until there was nothing left of it. So wise people know that the present is a precious gift. That this moment that we have right now is all we've really got. Wise people know how to number their days because that's the beginning of wisdom. Would you pray with me?